Hello everybody, this is going to be a short guide to my work in 2020 and I am just going to go over it pretty quickly. So there are going to be 5 sections to some of the things that I have been doing, that I have done. I've written essays, I've written fiction, I did a soccer vlog, and I started a new blogging section, kind of like a mini blog called the Computational Essays on Machine Learning, and I did an online class for folks on that same subject. So I am going to go through my works piece by piece, and I'm going to give a very short abstract of what it entails. So let's start with essays. For my essays, the many shades of scaling, I really enjoyed writing this essay, and it really explores the idea of what happens when we make things bigger or when we make things smaller. And this has numerous impacts in virtually every facet of life. So if you talk about economics and history and science, and I give some practical examples in the essay with regards to things like COVID-19, or with regards to things like why it makes sense for you to be a socialist and a capitalist simultaneously, because all of these things depends on the idea of skills. So this is it's a very interesting essay that I actually enjoyed writing. The next essay is the fragility of epistemic stability, and this is a philosophical essay, but a mildly philosophical essay. It's not technical, but essentially I use the problem of induction by Hume as a springboard, I would say, for this essay. So essentially I am making an argument that our knowledge about the world is very fragile, and I gave a practical example in the essay of, again, COVID-19, how it did really impacted people's life in ways that that you would not have thought would have actually impacted your lives. The other essay I actually wrote about is the Black Africa problem, and this is about 4,000 words, and this probably took me more time than any other essay that I've actually written. And I enjoyed the essay because it's something I've been thinking about for a long time. Black Africa is economically deprived, and can we explain why that is the case? And I did that, basically looking at history and actually putting forth a psychological hypothesis as to why Black Africa is economically backward. Dismantling Nigeria. So dismantling Nigeria is I wrote this essay as an aftermath of the End SARS protests that actually happened back in Nigeria. And there are 2 parts to the essay. The first part essentially is making an argument of why the Nigerian state is actually a failed or failing state, however you want to put it, and why I think that the over-centralization of government is it's a big problem. It's a big reason why it is a failing or a failed state, and essentially I just go through arguments in that fashion, and I made an argument for an aggressively decentralized country as a way to really solve some of our problems. The second part of the essay, which is titled Dismantling Nigeria, a Game Theory Addendum, it's essentially an essay that actually looked into why Nigeria is the way Nigeria is today, in spite of people wanting a change. And I basically used ideas in game theory. Specifically, I used Nash equilibrium, and I have a very short technical section that might be of interest to some of my readers. But Dismantling Nigeria, I enjoyed writing the essays too. Knowing about God via the threefold dilemma. the threefold dilemma is or was introduced by Plato, I believe, and it has to do with the nature of God and morality. And the threefold dilemma is usually an argument, very popular in philosophy, that are offered by non-theists as an argument against Christianity itself. In the essay, I basically, using William Lane Craig, who is a very popular Christian philosopher, ideas in showing that the threefold dilemma allows us to know more about God. And again, I enjoyed writing. This is more slightly technical, but it's a really nice essay. So now let's go to fiction. For fiction, I wrote this essay, Metabolites, Carnivores, and Cancer. And I wanted to see if I can explain the work I do in the lab to a general audience. And I figured out the way to go about this is to write a very short science fiction piece on the subject that I do in the lab. And that's exactly what I have here. Essentially is the idea of metabolism and how cancer proliferates, essentially, and how we can help in the diagnosis of cancer through some very novel means. Imhotep Saints. This is not so. This is a dialogue fiction, a fictional dialogue, and Imhotep is actually an historical figure. But again, this is a work of fiction, and in this fiction, basically, there is a protagonist having a dialogue with Imhotep, and usually it's about in some cases contemporary questions, in some cases old questions, and then Imhotep sometimes give witty answers, sometimes give answers that are commonsensical, and sometimes give answers that are sometimes boring. Okay, the third section of this is actually my soccer vlog, and I did for the first time my goalie diaries. I've always been in love with soccer, and I love goalkeeping. I love playing soccer too, and I team up with a few friends in town, and I shot this nice vlog, and it's really fun. It's really fun, and it's a 5 parts, very short, about 1 minute each episode for each of this vlog, and for each of the vlog, and it's something I enjoy. Computational essays on machine learning, and I started this mini blog, and essentially what I wrote about are shallow learning methods. This is as opposed to deep learning methods. So this is, we are not getting the technical sections now. And this might interest people who are actually interested in machine learning, and it's fairly beginner friendly if you do know how to code, and if you do know some statistics. I think you can actually start getting yourself with some of those materials I've actually written on my blog. So that's the machine learning blog. I also taught an online class. This is just independently, called the Learning Algorithms, and it sort of flows from my blog, but this is just a video tutorial basically going through methods like the machine learning, resampling methods, the logit model, k-nearest neighbor, just very simple shallow learning methods. And I would attach the link to the essay that will probably accompany this vlog, and that'll be the end. I hope you had a wonderful 2020 in spite of for the crazy things that happened, and I wish you a happy new year.